Hello, this is Adam Bernard with AutoPerspectives and a roundup of some of the more interesting things to happen in the auto industry over the past week or so. We'll start with Audi venturing off-road, and what you're looking at here is a version of Audi's Q6 e-tron. Now, the standard vehicle is off of the new PPE architecture. It's a compact luxury electric SUV with a 517 horsepower dual motor powertrain. What Audi's done is basically turned it up to 11 here with a 6.3-inch higher ride height and a 9.8-inch wider track. It can climb a 45-degree incline, and all of this is enabled with Audi's new internally designed portal axles. Now, we've seen this technology in the Mercedes G-Class 4x4 Squared and the Bollinger EV. Usually, a portal axle will add about 20 to 30% more torque at the wheels, in addition, of course, to raising the ground clearance. But Audi's design adds up to 50%, now about 13,400 Newton meters. This concept also adds fender flares, off-road lights, a roof rack, and exposed recovery points. Now, this vehicle is a follow-up to the Active Sphere that was shown in 2023, which was created for, quote, fascinating outdoor adventures. It looks like an SUV coupe, but the backlight actually slides forward, and there's a deployable bulkhead, so the vehicle actually converts from an SUV coupe to a pickup truck. Now, they claimed autonomous chauffeuring capability and a mixed reality interior layout. And underneath was an air suspension offering up to about 9.8 inches of ground clearance. So not quite as aggressive as the Q6 concept we just looked at, but clearly there's a pattern forming here. And so you might be asking yourself, where is this all going? Well, the third piece of the puzzle is Scout. Scout was unveiled last year. It was announced a couple of years ago. It was rebooting by the Volkswagen Group. And there have been rumors since the announcement that Audi could use the new Scout platform, which is body on frame, live rear axle, and e-rev capable, to take on the Land Rover Defender. The all-new plant where the Scouts are going to be built in South Carolina will launch in 2027, and we think it probably has some additional capacity there. Now, Audi does have a heritage in all-wheel drive with Quattro, but not a lot of heritage off-road. So the on-road heritage plus the capabilities of the Scout platform might give Volkswagen Group what they need to take on Land Rover and the Mercedes Geländewagen. And so they might have the best chance of pulling it off. With the popularity of vehicles like the Bronco and the Wrangler, and the fact that more automakers, especially the Chinese, are looking at vehicles that can either go off-road or look like they can go off-road at a moment's notice, this is an opportunity to broaden for Audi to broaden its footprint. Next up, we have Honda's low-cost EV. This news comes out of the Japan's Nikkei, so nothing official confirmed by Honda, but Nikkei says that Honda is targeting a sub-$30,000 price point, with the vehicle launching as early as 2026. This new vehicle would leverage the Zero Series platform that was showcased at this year's CES. Now, that vehicle was demonstrated with the SUV that you see here, something roughly the size of a Honda Pilot, and a very sleek sedan dubbed the Saloon. Both these vehicles may enter production in Honda's new EV hub in Ohio as early as December of this year. Now, the key challenge is that the two vehicles we saw are kind of large mid-size entries that would be priced from $50,000 to $60,000. The vehicle that Nikkei is talking about is probably a compact or small SUV that would target around $30,000. So how much flexibility is built into the Zero Series? Is it just some Zero Series technology on a new platform? Has the vehicle been downsized and aggressively decontented? We don't know, of course, especially because Honda hasn't really confirmed anything yet. It should be noted that this effort would replace the joint program between Honda and GM that was designed to produce an affordable electric SUV. That program was scrapped about a year and a half ago. GM followed that up with the announcement they were resurrecting the Bolt, essentially taking the Bolt that recently ceased production, updating it with Ultium technology, and launching that at the end of this year. Honda never had any kind of follow-up, so they may have been talking about this for a while, and now this is the direction that they plan to go. And with the industry's focused on more affordable EVs around the world, this is probably a good strategic move for Honda. Now, ironically, outside of North America, Honda already has a low-cost EV in the form of what's sold in Europe as the ENY1. Yes, that really rolls trippingly off the tongue. As you can see in the photo in the upper right, it actually looks a lot like the internal combustion Honda HR-V that is sold in markets outside of North America. But underneath it is a Chinese developed architecture. It's sold in China as the EN-S1 and the EN-P1, built with Honda's two joint venture partners. In Europe, the range is a fairly respectable 256 miles. Performance is moderate. The fast charge speed is actually not very fast at about 78 kilowatts. So overall, it doesn't seem to be a terribly competitive product. So one assumes that this new entry will raise the bar in terms of both design and with a more competitive set of hardware and something better suited to the US market. But again, nothing official yet from Honda. To be honest, the 2026 timing seems really close. At this point, we should be seeing some prototypes driving around Ohio, but that hasn't happened yet. So take this with a small grain of salt. I don't doubt that Honda is working on something more affordable, but we may have to wait a little longer before it actually materializes. And our last segment will be on vans from Flexus. And of course, you may be asking yourself, who is Flexus? So in October of 2023, Renault and Volvo Trucks and logistics provider CGM announced Flexus, which is a 720 million euro joint venture to develop and build electric vans starting in 2026. These new vans, which were derived from the Easy Flex concept shown 5 years ago, would be sold by both Renault and Volvo Trucks. By the way, not to be confused with the Geely-owned Volvo cars. And these would be B2B vehicles sold exclusively to other businesses. So John Q. Public would not be able to walk into a dealership and just buy one of these vans. The JV would include an ecosystem of services that includes connectivity, software, and maintenance. Last April, the JV officially launched, and now 3 vans, a 350 million euro program, have now been revealed on top of a brand new 800-volt skateboard powered by a 200 horsepower electric motor, and with that 800-volt technology, claiming a 0 to 80% charge time of 20 minutes, which is faster than just about any electric van out there, barring the new Hyundai vans that I talked about last week. The European range is about 279 miles. That would be about 220 miles in the EPA cycle. So that's not bad for a vehicle that's largely urban. Now, the flagship for the Flexus portfolio is the step-in van. The step-in van was derived from the Renault Estafette concept that was shown at the Paris Motor Show last fall. It has the footprint of a compact van like a Ford Transit Connect, but the tall profile means it has the cargo capacity of a midsize van. It's got a high mount seat, which is a little better ergonomically for the driver, so not as much up and down motion. And the van is set up with a nice low load floor, so the 6-foot driver can get up from the seat and then walk back to the cargo area. And you know, it has sliding doors on either side to make it easier to get in and out of the vehicle, especially in tight urban spaces. Alongside the step-in van are 2 derivatives of what looks like a more conventional midsize van, similar to what we see from Stellantis. The cargo van is on the left. It can adopt a box with a variety of widths, heights, and beds, and can include refrigeration capability. The panel van on the right is designed to be maneuverable and capable of entering traditional underground city parking and garages. All 3 vehicles will be supported by the Flexi Connect central digital platform and a customer operational center with real-time support. Flexus says they've already got 10 letters of intent signed from logistics providers representing up to 15,000 vehicles, so off to a good start. Most of the folks in Europe who sell electric vans are selling vans that are converted internal combustion vehicle. So coming out with a brand new dedicated EV skateboard should result in a more efficient electric van, and that should keep the total cost of ownership down as well, which businesses will definitely appreciate. So this seems like a move in the right direction. This would obviously leverage Renault's existing light commercial business and Volvo Trucks' existing commercial customer base. So we'll wait to see more on these vans when they appear on the market next year. And that about wraps up this week in Auto Perspectives in the News Roundup. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends, and please visit us at autoperspectives.net. Thanks very much.